You see, I'm in a place of blessing, a day of blessing. There is rain going on. It's called Gishmei Bracha. Definitely in Jerusalem, rain is a big blessing. You know, they tell this little anecdote about this tourist arrives in the airport, in Ben Gurion Airport, and he has 2-3 days just to spend in Israel, and he took himself a VIP tour to take him all over the place. He gets into his taxi and limousine, and he tells the driver, let's start. But let me go first of all to the place. He couldn't remember the name. He just somehow slipped his mind and he says, I want to go to the place where the Jewish people, where they cry. He says, no problem, I'll take you there. He brings him to the Tel Aviv tax office. But we are the wall, what's called the Wailing Wall. Is this what it is? Is this just the place where for the last 2,000 years, millions of Jewish people come to cry? Although it's true, definitely. And there is what to cry, because we're standing already for 2,000 years on this side of the wall instead of being inside the wall. But there's much more than just the crying here. It is the place of godly presence. It's a holy place. As the Gemara says, the Shekhinah, the presence of God, never left this area, the Western Wall. The Western Wall is the closest wall to what was inside the holiest of holies, the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So it's not just about crying. It's actually about connecting. It's about feeling who we are. It's about feeling that we are Jewish. We have a soul. And that's why it's so amazing. You come over here, you see people of all walks of life. Right now, there's not too many because of the rain. But religious and non-religious, secular, more observant, less observant, any languages, any color, everybody's here. And everybody feels the same thing. It's amazing to see how young people just come over to the tefillin booth and ask, can I put on tefillin? Why are they doing this? And the reason is because that's the place where you feel your soul. You feel your essence. You feel you're connected. And in fact, this reminds me of an anecdote. First time I came to the Kotel, 1969. I was a young man learning in yeshiva. First time I came here. I was standing in the side, watching, and trying to understand my emotions. So as I'm just in this turmoil, realizing this is the place where 2,000 years ago the Beis Hamikdash stood. A person walks by, tall fellow, with his big, if you know what I'm talking about, those big, old, powerful stature presentation cameras. And I ask him, excuse me, are you Jewish? Yes. Can I invite you to put on tefillin? And he says, and why would I do that? So I look at him and I say, can I ask you a question? Why are you here? You came here to see a wall? The wall of China is much bigger, much more impressive. Why do you come here? And he looks at me and says, that's a good valid point. And I guess I'm here because I'm Jewish. So I say, and that's the very same reason why you're going to put on tefillin. Because you are Jewish. Anyway, we're going back and forth. He tells me that he's a banker, he's vice president at Chase Manhattan Bank, and he meets a lot of religious people, and he has all kind of complaints against the religious people. I say, let's just get to the point. Why are you here? And then he says, yes. So let me put him on. He put on the tefillin. He walked over to the wall. Stood there for a long 10 minutes. He came back to the booth of the tefillin booth. His eyes were red from tears. And he looks at me and he says, thank you, young man. You've just reminded me that being Jewish is not my profession. Being Jewish is not the amount of what I have in my wallet, but being Jewish is just being Jewish. And this is what I felt. I feel I connected. Friends, that's the place where we connect. But I want to connect to the Eibishter and ask the Eibishter God. It's been 2,000 years we're watching at this side of the wall. It's high time. We should already see the inside, the other side, with the Beis Hamikdash standing in its full glory and the full redemption.